Oh man, you better pop some popcorn. This is a good one. It's gonna take a while. You're gonna want to check this one out over dinner. If you can't stand when a fifth wheel has a half bathroom, like where there is a toilet in the kitchen, you're gonna want to check this one out. Hello everybody and welcome to Haylett RV today. And when I say it is my pleasure to bring this one to you today, this is truly my pleasure to bring this one to you today. It's about 14,000 pounds. It's a big girl. Half tons need not apply. Neither should a Ford Ranger. We're up here in like dually country, folks. But this is the 3931 front bath and a half Montana. And what they did here is something I think addresses a problem a lot of people have with half bathrooms and a lot of fifth wheels. A lot of times it feels like there's a toilet in my kitchen and I don't want to crap where I eat. Like, especially a very high-class RV like this. Like, this is catering to a little bit different kind of clientele than your average bunkhouse, obviously. Well, what they did here is they found a way to give this one a fully featured kitchen. You've got all the pantry space in the world. Actually, the pantry space in this is absolutely unlike anything I've ever seen with a layout like this. It's absurd because they also moved the washer dryer out of the front half bath and into one of two huge pantries in this thing so that you just don't have it upstairs, which is something a lot of people ask for. Can I get the washer dryer downstairs, please? This one does it. And that goes hand in hand with Montana being the #1 choice for full-time RVers for like 24 years consecutively or something absolutely insane like that. But the way that they did this, the way that they tucked the half bath in here, one, the half bath is spacious. Like, I'm a big guy with long legs. I fit into this thing fantastically. And there's awesome storage in there. Like, they really, really nailed this one. They must have summoned up the ghost of Bob Vila. Wait. Is Bob Vila a ghost? Do we have to contact him via Ouija board, or can we just send him a text? Regardless, the one that we're looking at today is anything but a standard model. We are looking at Legacy Edition. We're looking at a ton of different upgrades on this thing. So keep in mind as we go, one of these that we have in stock could be very different. But just like you see here, we're not afraid to stock things like this, and we can get you one just like it. Or if there's something else, like you'd like a different paint package on top of that Legacy package, they offer 3 different paints there. We're going to cover all that and more as we go. I've already talked enough. There's so much to cover on this thing. I can't wait. Even the air conditioner's up. This thing's amazing. Okay, so first things first here. Just to give you your bearings, we're sitting on the rear hide-a-bed sleeper sofa right now, and we're going to come back to the living room. I actually want to start by focusing in on that half bath, because I think they did it so well. I think that this is the best executed half bath I may have ever seen in not just any fifth wheel, but maybe any RV. Because once again, so often a half bath feels like there's just a toilet right next to my refrigerator. And my old farmer boss always used to say, I don't like to crap where I eat, you know? Like, he's old enough, his grandfather still had an outhouse, and that's something that he grew up hearing. It's a full-featured kitchen. It just happens to have, almost completely masked away in this little middle hallway space here, this fantastic dedicated half bath, which obviously is going to be completely travel accessible. You can see the leg room, the hip room, the shoulder room. It is fluffy, person friendly. It is what I call American sized, basically. And you have the exact same all hardwood cabinetry in this that you have in everything else. Now, what we're looking at today has the cottage white decor option applied, which is changing some of that woodwork into that white tone you see there. And you will find, 3 of these rain sensory max air vent fans in this RV as we go through it today. But something you're going to find is the total storage in this RV in like every room is ridiculous. So much so that actually I think this is one of the very few RVs where I need to mention that it has, I think, about a 2,600 pound cargo capacity, which is a chunk. Obviously, it's literally over a ton of potential cargo capacity. But this one has so much storage inside and outside, you could really put a ding in that. And I love that clever placement of the paper towel, or toilet paper. I guess that's kind of, toilet paper is a type of paper towels, right? You know, we're going to very quickly spiral in that conversation of is a hot dog a sandwich, which I believe it is. It's a member of the sub family, but neither here nor there. I would love some feedback on this. You're going to see that Montana's gone over to vessel sinks for the reason that it gives you a greater storage capacity down below, and that's begging for a wastebasket, I swear, right there. Now, one of the critiques I've heard on vessel sinks is they can be a little hard to clean under, which is why I like how Montana did leave, there's like a lip down there, so your hands can get under here. You don't have to like floss it, because everybody knows that flossing is like so 2020. Am I right? Oh my gosh, Rebecca. Oh, look at that bathroom, regardless. So, as we back out here into the living room, pardon my umbrella that I'm using to keep that half bath door open right now, we see all of the windows in the world on this thing, and they are all over here on the door side of the RV, giving us just the best possible view of our destination so that you don't have to look at me, sweating out in the sun without my shirt, because frankly, I don't even like seeing that. When I get out of the shower, I flip the light off because I'm afraid I'll see myself in the mirror. Yuck. Now, I mentioned we have the cottage white interior decor option. That cottage white forces the darker fabric tones on the sofa. Normally, you have a lighter and a darker. Now, you see these darker wood tones? Normally, that is what you would see consistently through the RV. But with cottage white, you get some of those farmhouse-y kind of tones, but it lightens and brightens it up in here. Something that you won't see in any of the slides, though. This has completely carpetless flooring. And I like to get right down here and show you this because you look at it and on camera it reads as carpet. That's not carpet. That is like if you've ever had a nice pontoon, they have that marine grade flooring type covering stuff on there. That's what that is. So God forbid you spill something on it. No big deal. Now, the entertainment in this and everything is awesome, but one of the things I want to hit on right away is the heating and cooling package on this. Up top, they have changed their entire air conditioning system on a lot of your premium Keystone series. They stumbled into this thing, but it works. So it's like the greatest scientific discoveries are never met with voila. They're always met with, huh, that's weird. And that's exactly what happened here. They call it, I believe it's the Blade AC system or something like that. And it looks very different. It just uses residential air filters like you would find, like you'd put in an air conditioner at your house, basically. But it is, it moves more air into the cabin of the RV, and it does so more quietly. So this standard has a 30,000 BTU air system. And I wanted to talk about this because at a glance, you look at it and you say, oh my gosh, they got rid of the whisper ducting? No, they just found a different way to duct it whisperly. It makes sense if you don't think about it. Now, your main AC still has that 16,500 BTU heat pump. That is a 12-volt ceiling fan up top to push some air around. Down below here, we have a 5,100 BTU electric space heat and Tootsie toaster right below that, obviously, easy viewing entertainment center right there. And I really like this. They got rid of that glass drop-down door or whatever that, well, actually flip-up door where the entertainment shelf used to be. Infrared controllers could read through it, but it was difficult to you had to juggle the door open while you were in there, and I don't know, they just said, you know what, we're better than that. We're Montana, we want to be the best there is. Oh Lord, who sang that song? You're the best around, nothing gonna ever keep it down. Hopefully I sang that badly enough. I don't think YouTube's AI system is gonna ding me for a copyright infringement there. Plus, heating and cooling. This RV also has 12-volt tank heaters on every single holding tank so that you've got some awesome cold camp capability. Now, we're going to see it a couple times. That TV can pivot around like crazy. That is an extra wide hide-a-bed, which my wife and I have appreciated because we have spent a weekend on a Montana hide-a-bed with Mr. Haylett and had a great time. We had a little foam topper to it, which you could actually store inside the sofa when it's not being used. We got along just fine. You may have also noticed every window shade in this is two-section day and night shade. So you can, and the windows are obviously tinted, but all the windows open for airflow. You have all the light, all the privacy, just all of the things. Montana, they do and instead of or, I guess is the best way I can say it. Like this. They give us a cuddle-compliant love seat, or a theater seat with a very robust kind of, centralized console in there. Over here, the dining arrangement on this is also some. Montana has always, through the years, had one of the best, most creative, effective dining spaces I've ever seen. Before we carried Montana, Lord, I hated selling against them because people say, yeah, but have you seen their table? And I'm like, yes, it's amazing. Don't remind me. But if you start down below here, one of those innovations is they have that little, I call it chair buddy. So you don't have to wrestle the chairs around, but you also notice this comes with a pair of guest chairs and an extending table. So it's a couple's rig. But if we're going to have guests, friends over, if you need workspace, that table could be and do about anything you want. Now we're going to see this a little bit more in just a minute. But notice the accent lighting under the countertop there, under that countertop by the coffee bar, the crown molding accent lighting in here, the accent lighting inset into that ceiling light fixture up there. That is going to be very, very awesome for evening time when you're in the RV and you don't want to have the bright lights blasting you right in the eyes. Similarly, you have dimmer switch lighting for the lights right here above the theater seat. There's a switch right here. You can turn them off and on. You can turn them down. That is really, really nice in the early morning, in the late evenings, when you just don't need the full insane power of the sun blaring inside of this thing right here. Now, one of the cool things here, you saw how that TV pivots around a little bit. Well, if we look over here, you'll see that there's not a bad seat in this house. So if you are looking for like a little rear conversation corner where you want to have both of the sofas kind of occupied at the same time, maybe one person's in the theater seat or love seat as it were, or maybe, someone's back here lounging, or I don't know, maybe you've got some guests and you're just entertaining multiple people on a terrible, miserable, rainy day like today. I'm just spitballing ideas here. That TV's going to be able to move around and be easy to view. Not to mention if you want to pivot it toward the dining or the kitchen, you can. And the kitchen, guys, again, this is one of the things that really, really blows me away about this. Because, like, if we start looking up front again, there's so many people. They have a front bath and a half kind of arrangement. But there's always a toilet off the kitchen. In the kitchen, it almost feels like. And that is not what they did here. They gave it that clear separation. But as we're looking here, this has that full pantry that you expect out of a full-time fifth wheel. But they did another thing people wanted. People said, I don't want the toilet in the kitchen, and I want my washer dryer somewhere else. That big mega pantry right there, it is prepped for either a combo or stackable washer dryer unit. So that, you can, even if you put a stackable in there, there's still plenty of other storage capacity in this thing, because no matter what, you still have a dedicated pantry over here in the slide. That's what's really wild. This has a normal pantry plus a mega pantry. It's ridiculous. That's the technical term. I looked it up, and Montana says we have a redonkulous amount of kitchen storage capacity in this thing, and frankly, I'm inclined to agree. Don't believe me on that storage? Check this out. Hey, phone, what's the storage like in this RV?
Are you kidding me right now? Can you not see this for yourself? This is potentially the greatest concentration of kitchen storage that has ever existed in the history of history.
Potentially. You heard it. Potentially. I think maybe me and Siri must have growed up around the same cement pond. Now you have the choice between a residential refrigerator or the gas electric like you're looking at right here. Either way, it's 18 cubic foot. So the refrigerator capacity doesn't change. This refrigerator gives you the kind of the peace of mind of a second power source. In the event of, say, like a power failure, it'll auto kick over into gas mode. And then when electricity is restored, it'll just kick back over into electrical mode, which is cool. The residential refrigerator comes with a pretty beefy inverter, actually, to be able to run that not just in transit, but if you are going to do some little parking lot stayovers or something like that, or if you lose power for a brief time and you don't have like a monster solar package to help supplement your batteries, it'll at least keep the fridge going for a while, give you some extended, oh crap, we got to address that time. There's benefits to both refrigerators. One thing I'll absolutely give Montana credit for here, they were one of the ones that led the charge that really helped reshape our opinions and our views of residential refrigerators at Haylett RV. In the past, we were not very keen on those things. We really did not like them because they just weren't performing well. They had service records that we didn't like to see. Montana has switched up suppliers, and I'll give Jayco credit for doing the same, to use a refrigerator, in a residential refrigerator in these that actually holds up. Now, something I want to show you here is, first of all, let's give Montana some credit that they have maintained storage above the sofa in the slide right there, where most manufacturers have sacrificed that to give you maximized windows. And I like windows, but I think we've established that this one has enough window coverage. I mean, it could be argued, oh, more windows are better. More windows also make it a little bit harder to heat and cool the thing. Montanas are really well versed in that aspect, though. But a couple things. It's residential soft close drawers and soft close cabinet doors, like you see right there, which I think is just really an awesome indicator that we're in something like that, that again, is just a cut above. And all of this cabinetry that we've looked at, there's no sticker wrapping involved in this whatsoever. This is all a true stained hardwood. The way that I say it is that there's good, better still, and best cabinetry, and Montana is using that best grade. But they keep on rolling with those awesome full timing touches. Like, even when the sink in the island is in play, you still maintain a solid amount of countertop prep space on both sides, and there's household outlets easily reached all over this thing. Now notice too, our stainless sinks over here, one is a big giant farm sink so you can actually clean the pots and pans, or I don't know, maybe you've got the grandbaby for the weekend. You could bathe the baby in that thing, I think, pretty comfortably. Plus you always have the little veggie prep sink over here. They have dressed up and churched up their little wastebasket space a little bit. It just looks and feels a little nicer, a little more high end to me. But of course we still have all the space below the sink right there for like your dish soaps and all that kind of, good stuff. They have, again, I think that if you just start making a list of everything like anyone's ever wanted in a full-time fifth wheel, this thing has all of it and then some. And this is what I was talking about right here with all of that accent lighting. It's what I call stealth mode camping. And again, when I was hanging out and we did a big family trip, we were all packed into one Montana. Every evening when it was, family movie time, every morning when we were first waking up, this is what we do. We'd have all the blackout shades drawn, giving us all the privacy, because my wife and I were hanging out in that hide bed last night, and we're, a little bit bashful at times. Now, sometimes I just wake up, you want to use the bathroom. You don't want people looking at you walking through your trailer. But you've got the lights dimmed over here. You've got accent lighting there. You've got the accent lighting all the way through the crown molding. Now, there's a little bit of light pollution bleeding through, but with just the accent lighting, in the evening hours, if you wake up, you can get here and navigate. Or if you're a full-time RVer and you're still working, like you're waking up, getting ready to go into the office or whatever, you can get up and get around without blasting a whole, sunbeam of light into the RV and disturbing your partner. Now, just to help kind of complete a couple things, up here on the door, I love this new thing right here. First of all, the screen defender down here. You ever have a dog that they scratch at the door when it's time to go out? Well, now it's protected. The screen portion's protected. And our screen door itself, this is the lever to open the handle, but you can use it to pull the door shut as well, so you're not accidentally ripping that stuff apart right there. Now, you know what? Actually, I'll turn on the hallway light in just a second. First of all, just a quick reference look once again at the half bathroom, just so you can, again, see where it is in relation to everything else. But as we come up over here, all of our command stuff is located in this little cabinet right here. And when you get a Legacy Montana, you actually also step up into the in-command system, which should probably be 4 zeros. I hit lights, hallway light. Now, you can just hit one button to turn all of those on if you want to, but right now I'm on low battery power, so I'm trying to conserve a little bit here. But the difference on this is night and day. Now, a non-Legacy Montana will have just a conventional switch panel there, but everything else you're looking at will still be here. Well, no, I'm sorry, not everything. Anyway, you'll have your tank heating switches up here. I love how they're way up high. You cannot accidentally bump those things and cargo can't shift and get to them. Legacy Montanas have a built-in surge guard, and you can see if it's been tripped right there if you're having like some weird power things. Our 12-volt ceiling fan, again, I love that it's 12 volts, so it works off battery power. If you just want some fresh airflow running through, you can turn that on and off here, multiple speeds, and it can reverse to actually help distribute your heating a little bit more effectively. And then just those touches, the simplest things, a place to hang a jacket or a dog leash or something by the door. That is such an underrated feature. And of course, central vacuum cleaner and what I like to call the electric dustpan, so that you can just sweep everything in this carpetless model right in there, right into your collection point. And as we pass through the hallway, we head upstairs into the bedroom. Another one of those little Montana does it better kind of touches. Just a simple magnet hold back on that door. Nothing fancy, but it keeps that handle from bashing into your window screen right there. And I've talked to so many people who have said, you know what, I always leave my bedroom door open on my Montana in transit. I never have problems with it. It's just one of those things that just works. It just works really, really well. Now, over here in the bed slide, they did something different. This is new for 22. They added these shelves up here, and they made them wide enough that like a traveler's CPAP may actually be able to stay up there. They have that little lip to keep them from falling on you. But if nothing else, you know, you could use it for phones or something like that. You see how there's household and USB plugs in the slide box. So many RV manufacturers, even in the luxury segment, they say, yeah, well, we've got outlets beside the bed. And Montana says, fine, we'll do and instead of or. Anything you can do, I can do better. Like you've got the double stage lights up there. You can touch it once for just a little white reading glow, not a blue that could theoretically disrupt some circadian rhythms, some sleep patterns for people. That being said, I am on my phone constantly every night. I basically fall asleep via phone light, and I don't know, I seem to be doing okay by it. You see down below the bed, there's that easy lift storage, and then on the wall, it's actually above the storage in the half bathroom. You see the like extra hanging closet space there. So you don't necessarily have to always go through the master bathroom to get up to the front of the RV, to the front master closet, to get to some hanging storage. They kind of allow you to do things like that. So like, once again, you know, someone's using the shower, you can have a little bit of space here waiting for you. Now, if I just kind of crash over here on the 70 by 80 king bed, you see that TV is downward angled a little bit, so it's not quite a neck wrecker. And again, you've got the 30,000 BTU, better performing, quieter air system here with those residential filter systems that they're using. And in case you're wondering, you see this up here. This is not just like Wi-Fi hotspot ready. You see it's actually equipped on this RV. The way that this thing is set up, it makes me think these people are going to do some full-time mobile work camping. I mean, they got serious about this. Now, something else I want to point out. You see that yellow sticker on that outlet? If you look around the RV, there's been several areas where you may have seen stickers like that. It's indicating that that is an outlet that is pre-wired to an inverter circuit, because that goes hand in hand with the new Keystone Solar Flex system. Every single Keystone RV now has some level of solar. This is got a basic solar package. We'll get up on the roof and take a look at that. But if you want to learn all about the various Keystone Solar Flex packages, I will leave you a link in the video description, because that is like, it's another, for a basic overview of it, that's like another 15 minutes I need to spend with you. And this is already long enough. Obviously, there's awesome room around that porcelain toilet there. We have that fiberglass molded shower right here with that built-in little corner seat. So if you got to sit down and maybe shave legs or something, the shower hardware is height adjustable. And it's 6.5 foot tall through the entirety of the upper deck, which is something as a taller person I appreciate. Now, I mentioned earlier, again, we've got the big XL vent fans, one in the kitchen and one in each of the bathrooms. So you have 3 of those through the RV. And remember how I said the storage in this thing is just, it's absolutely nuts. Well, once again, I enlisted the help of everyone's favorite computerized assistant to find out exactly what we call this thing. Listen to this.
It's Energizer Bunny storage. It just keeps going and going and going and going and
Okay.
going and going
Oh,
and
okay,
going
stop,
and going
stop,
and going and
stop.
going
Siri,
and
stop.
going.
Oh, okay, there we go. So, yeah, this is pretty awesome. And did you notice, by the way, that big cabinet over there? That is hanging storage. And I'm tall, so I don't know what it's like down here. But yes, Oh my God, another hanging space. That would be for, I don't know, the grandkids if they come over, so that you can have some nice hanging clothes to get them ready for church. And when you're sitting here on the toilet, again, it's unconventional, but it works. The toilet paper holder comes right over to you. Now, once again, I want to point out that we have a completely carpetless walkable space. There is technically a tiny little speck of carpet behind the theater seat where they are just kind of using it to mask some wiring runs and whatnot. So I don't want to say it's a carpetless RV because obviously that could be proven incorrect. But this is now what? That's the fourth completely separate hanging space that we've seen in this RV. It's crazy. And why do I love windows in a bathroom like that so much? Although this one I really like, because if I take my naked backside out of the shower over here, if I forget to close that window, I feel like I'm not really, exposing the neighbor's kids to some level of trauma for which no level of therapy will ever fix. And then, of course, we've got like the pocket dressers on either side. I love that shelf, by the way, all the way across the front closet. What would you do with that? Like, I mean, I'm curious, how would you move into this thing? Where would you put stuff? I love hearing that stuff from people. And then over here, I'm kind of thinking, like, I kind of look at this. It sort of feels like a laundry hamper to me, but it also sort of feels like a little bit of a timeout seat. But you know what else? Sometimes, it is nice to have a place to sit down when you're putting on a pair of pants, especially when you're as clumsy as me. And frankly, with the slides closed, I think this has better road mode access than any big fifth wheel like of this size should just rightly have. It's another just feather in the cap, tip of the hat to Montana, what they've done here. Because you don't have to crawl over the master bed to get to a bathroom in transit because we have that hallway half bath. So the question really begs, what happens in the kitchen? And this is something I think Montana is one of the best I've ever seen at. They are so good at giving us access to the refrigerator in transit. And it doesn't matter which refrigerator you get, you maintain full access to the refrigerator in transit. And one more really cool thing about Montana fridges, they recently did some redesigning of any floor plan that needed it to make sure that every single Montana can get the refrigerator out of the door, whether it's this fridge, a residential fridge. You don't have to take a window out. You don't have to remove a slide from the RV to get those out of there. That is another reason I've come around on the residential refrigerators on Montanas. You might have to take the doors off the hinges, but you can walk them out the front door. They've made sure you can do that in every model. And that's the kind of stuff I need to hear for me to feel more comfortable about them from like a service standpoint. Not to mention, the supplier they went to on the residential fridges is just way better than what they were using before. Now, one more option you have available on these is actually dual pane windows. If you're curious about learning more about these, stay tuned till the end of the video, basically after the credits roll. I've got some extra information I want to give you on these.
Okay, so, for reasons that should be obvious, I think. Now, the weather being what it is, I probably shouldn't be up here, but, a stiff wind comes through and grabs this umbrella from the bottom. I'm going to turn into Barry Poppins. But we've come this far. I don't care if I get a little wet climbing up and down that ladder without the umbrella. I want to get you up here. So first of all, every one of those big RainSense and MaxxAir vent fans, you see how there's those little clips around them? If you want to add like one of those handy MaxxAir type vent covers or whatever you want to call them, the Camco vent covers, it's very easy to do. You don't actually have to modify any of the construction of the RV. And notice too, your air conditioners up here, they're using white shrouds just to make them provide maximum function and effectiveness when you're in like a hot sun climate. Now, this is your TV antenna, and those TV antennas, when you see those, they're always like that LTE Wi-Fi upgrade prepped, but as you saw in this one, it's already included, I believe, part of the legacy package. Again, my hands are freezing, and I'm getting buffeted by the wind. It's hard to kind of think on my feet right now. Speaking of which, I don't even know why I said speaking of which, because this has nothing to do with that. Again, that is the basic standard 200-watt solar package you get on every single Keystone RV now. But as you may have noticed, there is just an incredible amount of real estate on this thing, and Keystone has 3 more advanced solar packages that are available on this. Again, I'll leave you a link in the video description where you can learn more about those, and at any time feel free to give our team here at Haylett RV a call. We can send you a current build sheet so you can always check what current pricing is. Totally unrelated to everything. This big giant blue spruce right here, we decorate that at our own expense every Christmas. You actually see the star still up there. We don't even know how tall it is anymore, but every year we issue a challenge. As far as we know, that is the tallest naturally growing Christmas decorated blue spruce in the world. It's actually bigger than the tree they light up in Rockefeller Center every year. It's bigger than the tree the president lights. We are going to have to do a little bit of a truncated exterior tour today. It is just miserable weather out here, folks. If this doesn't earn me a like and subscribe, if you haven't done that already, I don't really know what else I have to do for you. Because this is not pleasant, but I don't let the weather stop me. I don't care if it's snowing. I'm going to be out here giving you the best information I possibly can. So, we're looking at a full paint package. Let me back up here just a second. Look at the left side of your screen. Montana offers 3 different paint packages. There's the samples of the 2 other ones there for you. What we're looking at today is Cobalt, which has really become my personal favorite. Man, I wish the sun was blazing on this thing. It looks so good, but even sitting here right now, I think it still looks pretty phenomenal. First, you have to take any Montana. All Montanas have the option of adding the Legacy package, which is what we're looking at here today. After you've done that, once it's a Legacy model, you can then apply the paint package that we're looking at here. But I swear, if you watch our used RV videos, I say this all the time, and until you see one that is like, you'll see like a 2007 full paint package, and you're like, holy crap, that's a 2007? No way, because it still looks so good. It just resists fade and flaking and weathering from the sun so much better than just a common fiberglass with decals. That being said, the current look of the Montana fifth wheels, I think the standard base look is unlike anything I've seen them do. It looks so good here. Now, because we have that extended forward deck, they have the opportunity to give us an extended awning right here, and they really maximize that opportunity. And then, just so I'm not getting rain inside of everything, give you a little X-ray vision quick view of the compartments in there. And inside that, you'll actually also get to see the in-command brain system on the left-hand wall over there next to the central vacuum collection point. One of the really cool facets of that is, let's say, for whatever reason, the touchpad inside doesn't respond, or a guest breaks it or something like that. There's always a button inside there you can use to activate all your different motors on this. Little gas grill quick connect over here, or as I like to refer to it, the propane cooker hooker. And as we back up just a second, that is an anti-slam door under that awning. And those are the easy lift, like I call them zero gravity gas strut assisted stairs right there. So if you've had, like, you don't want to have to really lift and heave and go on those things, they're just easier. You don't have to. Oh man, I'm sorry. I know I'm whining, but I wish I had some better sun exposure on this, because this thing just looks so amazingly good. The video today with the dreary overcast and the weather, it is not doing it justice. I don't know what it is. Every time we have a big, beautiful Legacy Montana come in, like the last 3 years, the weather's been trash. Like, look back at my last one. I think it was like snowing like crazy. I just never seem to catch a lucky break on one of these. Now we're looking at a full cap on the back. That is another part of the Legacy package. Also, you see how it's not just camera prepped, it actually has the rear camera installed. And as we weave our way around the trailer, you'll see it also has the side cameras installed. Legacy gives us a full observation suite. Down here, you see that 3,000-pound towing hitch. Although this thing is so long, I bet there's only 2 states of the union in which you can actually legally double tow behind this thing, most of which are going to have length restrictions that would be a little prohibitive. Montana doesn't care. They said, I don't care. What if you do live in one of those 2 states? We still want to give you the best, most amazing experience possible. Here's your hitch. I mean, they're just... Because when we're in a Legacy Montana, it's not about need. This is about just pure want and desire. And I think one of the greatest aspects of the Legacy package is not that it lets you put paint on it. It's not that you get a rear cap. It's that, you've always got Saloon radials rated for 75 miles an hour. And you've always got the Road Armor shock dampening suspension package. But Legacy gives us disc brakes. And I've had a lot of people tell me, holy crap, that's worth going to Legacy alone right there just to get those disc brakes, because this thing weighs 14,000 pounds. It's a big girl. Man, you're going down a steep grade on a hill or a mountain because you're traveling, you're going to really, really like that superior braking capacity. I want to thank our Haylett RV viewers. Oh, I just got rain dripping down my umbrella here. Right down my back. Oh, that feels great. What I was saying, I want to thank my viewers. I always called that like a powered power cord. I could never think of a good name for it. Someone finally gave me just the simplest, most effective name, and folks, I really appreciate it. It's a motorized power cord reel that you get in the Legacy edition. Now, you see that we've got that all-enclosed, protected docking center right there. That stuff's normal. You've got the sewer hose caddy. That's awesome. And again, we have the side view cameras when we go to Legacy. What you may not realize is that whether it's Legacy or not, Montana's all, even a high country, they all enjoy a very uncommon build process. Their sidewalls are CNC routed. They are machine cut, precise within 1/1000th of an inch. And that is one of those things, I swear, you'll never find it in a like a sales guide or a brochure or whatnot. But I've seen Montana's over the years, how they've held up, and they hold up so nicely. Now, this big black box with the red switch, you could just call it your battery disconnect and you wouldn't be wrong. It's called a Gigi box, and long story short, what it does, it gets rid of that big mess of relays up front, which sometimes can be a little bit prone to tripping, and they're a little bit tricky to track down in terms of like service purposes. Well, they got rid of them, and it prevents parasitic load coming off the battery. And this thing down here, that is the brake actuator for those heavy-duty hydraulic brakes. Now, oh, yeah, you also saw the generator prep over there. Let me talk about that. That used to be part of Legacy. Generator prep is no longer part of the Legacy package. It is now always a, pardon me, standalone feature. So you could get it on a Legacy unit. You could put it on a non-Legacy unit. It doesn't matter. You can always gen prep what I like to call these full Montanas. Like there's a high country, then there's what I call a full Monty, and then obviously right here we go up to a Legacy. Now, man, I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't get myself to not go up on that roof for you. Stand by. Now, the weather being what it is, I probably shouldn't be up here, but you know, a stiff wind comes through and grabs this umbrella from the bottom. I'm going to turn into Barry Poppins. But we've come this far. I don't care if I get a little wet climbing up and down that ladder without the umbrella. I want to get you up here. So first of all, every one of those big RainSense and Max Air vent fans, you see how there's those little clips around them? If you want to add like one of those handy Max Air type vent covers or whatever you want to call them, the Camco vent covers, it's very easy to do. You don't actually have to modify any of the construction of the RV. And notice too, your air conditioners up here, they're using white shrouds just to make them provide maximum function and effectiveness when you're in like a hot sun climate. Now, this is your TV antenna, and those TV antennas, when you see those, they're always like that LTE Wi-Fi upgrade prepped, but as you saw in this one, it's already included, I believe, part of the Legacy package. Again, my hands are freezing, and I'm getting buffeted by the wind. It's hard to kind of think on my feet right now. Speaking of which, I don't even know why I said speaking of which, because this has nothing to do with that. Again, that is the basic standard 200-watt solar package you get on every single Keystone RV now. But as you may have noticed, there is just an incredible amount of real estate on this thing. And Keystone has 3 more advanced solar packages that are available on this. Again, I'll leave you a link in the video description where you can learn more about those. And at any time, feel free to give our team here at Haylett RV a call. We can send you a current build sheet so you can always check what current pricing is. Totally unrelated to everything. This big giant blue spruce right here, we decorate that at our own expense every Christmas. You actually see the star still up there. We don't even know how tall it is anymore, but every year we issue a challenge. As far as we know, that is the tallest naturally growing Christmas decorated blue spruce in the world. It's actually bigger than the tree they light up in Rockefeller Center every year. It's bigger than the tree the president lights.
So once again, thank you everybody for spending a lot of time with us today. Please leave me some feedback. Like, What do you love on this one? What do you love even more? What would you change given the opportunity? I'll leave you a link in the video description. You can check for either current pricing or last known MSRP and availability that we leave right out there for you. And as always, remember, that like button doesn't cost you nothing, but it does help us a little bit. And if you haven't, leave me a couple comments and subscribe to our videos here, because we have not just base models coming in, we have the fancy stuff like this coming in too. This is the stuff that's really, really fun to see. Like Mark Twain said, you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life. I'm not working right now. This is just all playtime. This is awesome right here. When you're ready, we're ready. We'd love to work with you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Halo camping, everyone. Okay, so thank you guys very much for hanging out at the end of the video here. I feel like the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, except I'm not in a bathrobe. Anyway, I mentioned you have the option of getting dual pane windows on these. That is a standalone feature, kind of like Gen Prep. I just want to clear up a little bit of misconception about these. A lot of people think, oh, they're thermal pane windows. That's not what most RV windows are. Like, there's even a sticker on it that says insulated window, which really kind of confuses the issue. A normal RV window is like an R0.7. And when you go to a dual pane window, it only increases to about an R1.1. It's like actually just barely under that, I think. So there's no significant R value increase. There's a lot of people say, yeah, but I like to use those to get rid of the condensation. And that's really what I want to hit on here. It's not getting rid of the condensation. The composition of that window does not magically change the concentration of humidity in the air in here. If you are seeing condensation on a window, by all means, if you prefer dual pane windows, get them. That's not a problem. They have other benefits. I'll talk about that in a second. But you should be running a dehumidifier. We don't realize it, but the air conditioners that we see on RVs, they're technically only dehumidifiers. The cooling effect that we feel is actually a side effect of the dehumidification process. It's kind of an interesting little science nerd thing. I tell you what these are really awesome for. These are really awesome for drowning out a lot of noise, because like when I'm not yakety yakking the whole time, I bet you couldn't hear the rain tinkling all over the roof of this thing, but as you saw when we were outside, it's raining cats and dogs. So do they have no benefit? No, certainly. But is this the magic cure for 4 seasons camping or whatever? No, it's not. You literally will get a greater R value gain by just pulling down that shade right there. That effectively turns the window in sort of like an R2-ish, which is double the effect of a thermal pane RV window that isn't really a thermal pane. There are some RV companies that do have true thermal panes. That I'm just giving you a point to investigate. Is it a thermal pane or is it a dual pane? Is it a gas charge or not? These are not gas charged. So I didn't want to bog down the middle of my video by getting on a soapbox like this, but I hear that misconception put out there a lot, and I just thought I'd give you a little extra information, because that's what we like to do for you Halots. And guys, when you're ready, we'd sure love to work with you. We don't do those pesky hidden fees, just everything else. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great day.